And among those lost in the crash was one of Wichita's brightest young minds, Wichita native Kia Duggins, an East High and Wichita State grad, went on to graduate from Harvard Law. Starting a career as a civil rights attorney in Washington, D.C., KSN's Peyton Steiner spoke to one of her former advisors in Wichita State about her enduring legacy. Peyton, what did you learn?
Jeff, all around Wichita, there are pieces of Kia Duggins' legacy. By all accounts, she was selfless and a dedicated community advocate. You'll find one sign of that dedication in the basement of Wichita State's Shocker Success Center. She co-founded the Shocker Support Locker in 2016, a food and personal hygiene bank dedicated to students. Now it stands as a permanent reminder of what she fought for and the change she made.
And that's a legacy that is continued on to this day. I think annually they give out more than 80,000 items, and Kia was a driving force to make that happen here at Wichita State.
He says when the pantry started, it was just a few shelves, and now it has its own dedicated space, helping hundreds of students. Kia's legacy at Wichita State can be seen in many ways. I'll have more on that coming up later in later newscasts. Here for you, Peyton Steiner, KSN News 3.
Families, friends, communities in mourning as victims of Flight 5342 are identified. 2 days after the plane plunged into the Potomac River, names and faces are slowly being revealed. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Herndon.
And I'm Julia Thatcher. She was Miss Butler County, a Wichita East and Wichita State alum, Harvard grad, and civil rights attorney. Kia Duggins was killed on American Airlines Flight 5342.
The soon-to-be Howard University law professor was heading back to Washington, D.C. when a U.S. Army Black Hawk crashed into her plane. In just 30 years on this earth, Duggins left a lasting impact on her community. KSN's Peyton Steiner spoke to a Wichita State advisor who knew her and saw some early potential. Peyton.
Jeff, Julia, with just a quick glance at Kia Duggins' academic and professional history, the trend becomes obvious. She was somebody who dedicated every aspect of her life to advocating for the underserved and underrepresented. Those that knew her as a student say the signs of selflessness started much earlier than her time as an attorney. The director of admissions said Kia worked in his office. He said her work on campus made it obvious she was on track to do something great.
She lived a life of service, both at Wichita State and in other places. She fought for injustices when she saw them. She identified them, and she fought for the people who needed help, whether it was at Wichita State or at Harvard or beyond when she started her professional career.
She was set to start a new chapter of her career as a professor of law at Howard University. In a statement, Howard University School of Law said she was a brilliant legal mind and said her dedication to shaping the next generation of leaders would have inspired many had she been able to start her work in the fall. Here for you, Peyton Steiner, KSN News 3.
Derek, thank you. Another victim, a young woman with a bright future. KSN's Peyton Steiner learned Kia Duggins already had an incredible impact on others. Peyton?
Yeah, Jeff, Julia, the loss of Kia Duggins left a hole at Wichita State's campus as one of the most notable and accomplished alums. She left a legacy at WSU through her student advocacy, academic success, and co-founding of a student food and clothing locker. Director of admissions Bobby Gandu got to know her when she worked in his office, and he said seeing how she worked helped him get to know that she was a rare kind of student.
She was an academic, she was a scholar, but she was an incredible human, and she really cared about her classmates. As I reflect, and I've been watching all of the posts on social media, it's really been amazing to see all of her college classmates from her time at Wichita State post such incredible stories about her and bringing her story to life.
He also said everybody who knew her at Wichita State knew her as a rising star, adding that even though they were all adults, a common phrase in their office was, "I want to be like Kia when I grow up." She went on to graduate Harvard Law and has been working as a civil rights lawyer in Washington, D.C., working to defend the rights of the underserved and underrepresented. Here for you, Peyton Steiner, KSN News 3.